stand up against him.
And there's the charge once again. Zai already galloping towards the top side of the map. DDC is level 7 here, but if nothing else, he gets some quick transportation towards the north. And he is scouted here by a Dire Observer Ward. He's still going for this. I don't think he commits any further. Well, Zai trying to test me, but he will back off. So they get control of the top tower. Doesn't actually have to go in. This will be tower number 2 for Secret, and taken freely. And now the mech comes online. The Viper of S4 has gone back for a Bracer, so he's just getting cheap tank items. Would be surprised even maybe a Drums comes out for him. It looks like they want to push.
I think they had an internal discussion where S4 thought he was going to go for the mech, hence the Ring of Regen, but I think they rethought that and said, Arteezy's doing such a good job, we can just get online really quickly. And I think this is in response to the fact that CTY is so underfarmed. If CTY had a point booster on top of what he already has with the treads, then maybe they can change their build or their playstyle a little bit, but because he doesn't, it's so incredibly hard for them to fight right now. Like CTY rolls in, all he'll do is run into a brick wall.
Not hard for Secret. Not hard for Secret. There's the charge onto DDC. No cold embrace the time he gets stunned. The cooldown's there. Pretty good one. Connects on 2. Looking to focus Arteezy, but Puppy's ready in position with the Grave, and out comes the Requiem. Dodged by the Phoenix Egg, but to what avail as they grip ZYF. They'll bring him down too. Arteezy juking for all his work. Did they even get him? The last remnant just barely takes him down. But was it worth it? 4 heroes collapse, the tower still falling. The gold swing not as bad as you would expect, but that's only because Secret are already so far ahead.
That wasn't significant for you? 1,400 gold going the other
4 to 1, I thought, 2,000's not out of the question here, but that was brutal.
Yeah, they lose a tier 2, and you saw the weakness of the Storm right there. He rolls in, he doesn't really have a target. Arteezy gets graved up, and then he's just kind of stuck in a situation where he has to flip a coin. Either A, I get out of here, or B, I just chance the kill on him, but most likely you're going to die there. I mean, he went for it, but that definitely wasn't worth it. And right now, Secret are just showing how to beat a Storm. You collectively group up as 5 with a mech, with naturally tanky heroes that can back each other up, and the counter-initiation game from Secret is so strong right now. You don't even have a BKB on Arteezy yet. There's not even any real items on S4, and yet you're still struggling to get into fights, and that has to be so troublesome because heroes like Gyrocopter rely on winning the early game. All of your skill set naturally lends to it, and the fact that you're losing this hard in the early game does not bode well.
Secret on the smoke once again, and they move on towards mid. RTK doesn't have the egg available, but clear if that's the hero they want. Well, yeah, you betcha it is. They're going to charge forward. They're committing for this quite heavily. Track is available now, and that will deter Zai. That is something I think worth discussing more. Is Phoenix not a very common pick right now, and we haven't seen an egg actually go off this game. I think we've seen 3 casts, and every single time there's been 2, 3, even 4 Secret heroes that just instantly focus it down. And it feels like the impact of the Phoenix in the offlane just hasn't really been there for Eho.
I think the idea was that you could use it in conjunction with the Winner's Curse just to create chaos on the map, but if you notice, every single time Secret YOLO dives on the DDC, and it's so difficult for them to stop that. They don't really have an ability like Grave where you can deter them from going on the support. Like, all he has really is himself, and I mean, he's been a little bit out of position. I think he has to be in better positioning so that he doesn't just get charged and blown up in the beginning of the fight.
Speaking of charges, there's one on towards top. ZYF in danger now. If he doesn't drop the cooldown immediately, he may just go down off the bat. There's the cooldown. Is it enough to force them back? The grip could come through, and it will. And even through the rocket barrage, Secret show no mercy in butchering that poor Gyrocopter. And they're also taking the tower bottom during this time. Objectives everywhere, just piling in for Secret. Ehome completely thwarted every turn, it feels. They try to bring RTK in mid along with the Bounty Hunter, but can't find any kill opportunities. This Storm, he's 2-3-1. He's just been shut down.
I think what Ehome have to do is just kind of extend the game a little bit longer, because CTY doesn't have any natural counters here. The only issue right now is that he's just running into a brick wall every single time he goes for a gank. Their heroes are just naturally tanky, it's hard to kill. So the better thing to do is extend the game for as long as possible. Like, this is not the normal CTY that we see. It seems like he's a little bit agitated, and he's going for really risky plays. All you have to do if you're CTY here is farm the jungle consistently, wait for your opportunities. If Secret go for the high ground, track up 4 different heroes, roll in with Storm, roll out, and eventually wait for Secret to overextend or make a mistake. But right now, I think if Ehome try to get aggressive, they'll lose every single time. Maybe you go for an individual smoke game just to pick off 1 or 2 supports, but other than that, just play the high ground game.
Well, that does seem to be the way they want to go as a team strategically here. ZYF not going into the early BKB or drums that we've seen out of players like Aggressive. He's going for what looks to be a Helm of the Dominator, so he at least wants to farm. And for now, CTY has slowed the game down, is pushing in the middle lane and getting what creeps he can. But Secret playing defense. And I guess the question is, what is Secret waiting for? It looks like Arteezy just finished the BKB, and that may be cue to go into the pit. He's just picked up a haste turret as well. Level 13, everything pretty much maxed out here, aside from the ultimate and presence. He's ready for the big 5-man fight, and all they have to cancel Requiem is really a Winter's Curse.
You don't really want to initiate with that because you want to be able to use it in tandem with the Supernova, but Secret are really denying them opportunities. And with this 10-second BKB, I think Secret just march down and take whatever objectives they want. I think they have to play face rush Dota right now. Go as fast as you can. Don't let eHome gather up and take split pushes. You just have to apply pressure at all points. That kind of force eHome into awkward situations.
And they do have to be careful because this is a bounty hunter game, and as much as it feels like Secret has been in total control almost from the very start, maybe not when the rune spawned, but shortly thereafter, Track Gold can swing just about any game around right now, and the gold lead it's not that overwhelming. One bad fight and this is close to 0, so Secret wisely playing it safe, getting their core items up. They're going to get a little insurance here. S4 picking up the Midas, and they will smoke. They have thoroughly dewarded their side of the map. In fact, only really just that one Dire Observer ward remaining, and it's not in the right place to spot this, which is the move into the Roche pit. They have a medallion available, and they go directly there. Ping coming out towards the top side of the map from Secret. They want, looks like Zai to show himself and maybe try to bait somebody onto this top tower. As the counter D-ward comes from CTY, it's a freebie for Secret. Not even contested whatsoever. eHome getting the lanes pushed out, but that's about it. And now Arteezy, well, this is a Shadow Fiend in his prime. 3K ahead of any hero in the game. We've seen this so many times as of late with Team Secret, and we see it again now. A nearly unkillable core hero that does the most damage on the map to boot.
It's going to be incredibly hard for eHome to take any fights, so this is what they have to do. Apply pressure where they can. You notice that CTY goes mid, he forces some heroes to show themselves, and then they show themselves top.
I mean, just look at this. He's diving past tier 2s by himself. This man has no fear.
No, he doesn't. Did you understand that? That was a terrible
He's
joke.
so sad. Hey, they're both doing pretty well, so I guess they'll survive somehow. And now they jump onto the mid lane, onto RTK. The mech comes out. They force it out nice and early. Arteezy still has the Aegis. He gets slept during the Winter's Curse, and there's nobody there to hit him. That's a big team fight already down the drain, and eHome may just have to sack this tower for free. Oh, uh-oh. The hunter is becoming the hunted rather quickly as the charge goes on to Lanham. I believe there is detection on Zai. No way out. Lanham is going to take this one in the mouth, punch, then smacked by the Lantern, and he will go down to the Nether Strike. Secret taking a tower while collecting kills. It's been the story of this game.
And eHome can't panic like that. The fact that they were willing to use the Winter's Curse on an SF that was diving their tier 3, like
with an Aegis and a BKB.
But he's not going to commit for that.
Yeah.
I felt like that was just an overreaction, and that means any single time they use any one of those spells, they can't get into fights anymore. And their bounty hunter simply just can't die. Like, they need the level 2 track up, and he's only level 8 right now. Like, the level 1 track might not even make enough of a difference where it really affects the gameplay. Because Secret can just continue to farm if they want. They don't have to use this Aegis. They'll most likely push out this wave and just go for tier 2s, but they actually opt to go for smoke, and eHome are going to have no idea right now that this is going on. They have no wards up. This is a pretty good timing for a smoke, just because they assume that Secret with that Aegis will go for the 5-man, but they opt to look for the pick-off first, and this is the safest way to just put a stamp on this game now.
They've got a grip available. Lanham will be the one to reveal it. Sentry ward in the mid lane now thrown out as dust will come from Kuro. Not going to find anything though. They'll back off, but they are congregating. 5 heroes on the mid. As Puppy moves up towards the north ramp, they're going to settle on mid, and in they go. Arteezy in front, he just rushes in, says, come at me. You really can't stop this level of aggression. At least that's the plan. There's no Storm in sight. He's just split pushing, trying to stall the game, slow it down a little bit. They will spam Arteezy to some extent, but not enough to force him out of the base just yet. And meanwhile, while this is happening, also in the bottom lane, there's a bit of a push coming out here. Everything they can do just to discourage Secret from pushing in, but now the charge, ZYF, he's got about 5 seconds here to TP out before that charge will be in closing distance, and he will get out. So they do manage to escape. CTY, Bloodstone, nearly complete now. It's a bit on the late side at 20 minutes, but you said he needed to slow the game down, focus on farming, and that is what he's done. He hasn't died since we discussed that, and he is keeping within striking distance here of Secret.
And this is exactly the game plan that I think eHome should have shot for when the early ganks weren't working. Just go back to your farm. You know you have the track. You've got enough to wave clear with the Splinter Blast, and any team is going to be deterred when you get 5-man track. You just can't afford to lose that fight because it would just give eHome all the momentum in the world, and that's what eHome has to play for right now, momentum. They've got a Bloodstone on their Storm Spirit. He gets around 14 charges. There's no natural counter to his hero on Team Secret, and he can pretty much just do whatever he wants. And so it's actually a little bit on Secret to play perfectly from here on out because you don't want to feed away track kills, and you especially don't want to feed away bounty hunter tracks.
And you mentioned momentum, and you could see with this deviation from Arteezy's build that Secret understand this is what the game is about right now, is trying to keep the lanes shoved in. He's opted to go back for Boots of Travel, and we really don't see this or this early very often on a Shadow Fiend, but with this he can split push better, still join the fights, and he can basically counter that play that we just saw out of eHome only moments ago. Very interesting change up here, and I think it really speaks to what Matt said on the panel that normally Secret prioritize a little more wave clear and spam from their supports, but well, Arteezy is going to be the one-man pushing army at this rate.
Yeah, CTY, he's so afraid right now, but he has to just continue to push in as far as he can. They're pinging a top, but it looks like they want to ignore this. And
no, they're looking for the Ancients. Secret just not even letting eHome have a single penny, let alone two to rub together. They won't find anything here, and that may put them low on smokes for the foreseeable future. They just used two in quick succession, but it's eHome's turn to pick one up. I mean, where does eHome really go right now? Who's even the target at this point?
You don't really want to take a fight here. If you have to hit the Winter's Curse Phoenix egg combo, there's no other way that you can really take a fight here. And
it is a very game-changing combo, but like you said, not the easiest to hit. There's 4 ranged heroes on Secret.
It's just the tankiness of their lineup. They're actually just going to have to surprise Secret. Try to
this could be the fight.
They know
coming up the ramp. They have a vision. Call down coming through as well, and it's a 3-hero Winter's Curse, locking them in place. No egg coming through just yet. He doesn't. No.